The European dragon is a legendary creature in folklore and mythology among the overlapping cultures of Europe. The Roman poet Virgil in his poem Culex lines 163-201 describing a shepherd having a fight with a big constricting snake calls it serpens and also Draco, showing that in his time the two words probably could mean the same thing. In and after the early Middle Ages, the European dragon is typically depicted as a large fire-breathing, scaly-horned lizard-like creature. The creature also has leathery, bat-like wings, 4 legs, and a long muscular prehensile tail. Some depictions show dragons with one or more of feathered wings, crests, ear frills, fiery manes, ivory spikes running down its spine, and various exotic decorations. In folk tales, dragons' blood often contains unique powers, keeping them alive for longer or giving them poisonous or acidic properties. The typical dragon in Christian culture protects a cavern or castle filled with gold and treasure. An evil dragon is often associated with a great hero, who tries to slay it, and a good one is said to give support or wise advice. Though a winged creature, the dragon is generally to be found in its underground lair, a cave that identifies it as an ancient creature of earth. Roman dragons developed from serpentine Greek ones combined with the dragons of the Near East, in the context of the hybrid Greek/Eastern Hellenistic culture. From Babylon, the Mushasu was a classic representation of a Near Eastern dragon. St. John's Book of Revelation, Greek literature not Roman, describes Satan as a great dragon flaming red, with 7 heads and 10 horns. Much of St. John's literary inspiration is late Hebrew and Greek, but his dragon is more likely to have symbolized the dragons from the Near East. 2-3 In the Roman Empire, each military cohort had a particular identifying sigma military standard. After the Parthian and Dacian Wars of Trajan in the east, the Dacian Draco military standard entered the legion with the Coes Sarmatarum and Coes Decorum Sarmatian and Dacian cohorts, a large dragon fixed to the end of a lance with large, gaping jaws of silver and with the rest of the body formed of colored silk. With the jaws facing into the wind, the silken body inflated and rippled, resembling a windsock. 4. Several personifications of evil or allusions to dragons in the Old Testament are translated as forms of Draco in Jerome's Vulgate, e.g. Deuteronomy 32:33, Job 30:29, Psalm 73:13-91, 3 and 43:20, Isaiah 13:21, 27:1, 34:1, 3 and 43:20, Jeremiah 9:11, and Malachi 1:3. Dragons in Greek mythology often guard treasure. For example, Ladon, a 100-headed dragon, guarded the tree of Hesperides until he was slain by Heracles. Likewise, Python guarded the oracle of Delphi until he was slain by Apollo out of revenge for Python tormenting his mother. The Lernaean Hydra, a multiple-headed serpentine swamp monster killed by Heracles, is said to be a dragon. In a tale in Apuleius the Golden Ass, also called Metamorphoses of Apuleius, a band of travelers ask a shepherd for refreshments. The shepherd asks why they care about refreshments in such a place. An old man asks the travelers if they can help get his son from a well. One of them goes to help. When he does not return to the group, they go search for him. They find a monstrous dragon eating the said man from the group, while the old man was nowhere to be seen. 5. The Roman author Pliny the Elder in his book Natural History 6, Book 8, chapters 11 and 13, describes the Indian draken as a big constricting snake, likely the Indian python, but described exaggeratedly as able to kill an elephant by constricting its neck. The Roman author Claudius Vallinus in his book De Natura Animalium 7 describes the Draco as a big constricting snake found in India, presumably the Indian python, but with its size and strength greatly exaggerated so that it can kill an elephant by constricting its neck. This battle between a Draco and an elephant is repeated with much embellishment in later descriptions of dracons or dragons in bestiaries. Classical European dragons are often described as illuminating the air. 8. This is often taken by Christian writers who As a metaphor for Lucifer, whose name means bearer of light. The dragon motif is known in Celtic art in diverse styles, and is presumed to have derived from ancient folklore of the Middle East and Greece, which is serpent-like. Both the Greeks and the Romans considered the serpent to be a guardian spirit represented on their altars. Western Celtic peoples were familiar with dragons in the pre-Christian age, and that native people of Britain wore Celtic decorations with motifs of dragons on them during the Roman invasion. There is also archaeological evidence that the continental Celts used brooches and pins in the form of a dragon during the Lao-10 period from c. 500 BC to 1 AD 1112. 13. Some suggest that the native Britons of Europe may have brought the dragon with them when they migrated to Britain before the Roman age. 13. The earliest known use of the dragon by the Celts appear in swords and sheaths in the 4th century BC. 9. One example found in Britain is an early Iron Age Celtic sword that features two opposing dragons. Queried to be from the Hallstatt culture 1415. Two other swords and scabbards also from the bottom of the River Thames are thought to include a dragon pair from the Lao-10 culture and / or Hallstatt culture 16, 17, 18. Discovery of Celtic dragon pairs in the Thames suggests that links existed between Britain and the rest of the Celtic world in the decades around 300 BC. 19. Evidence in coins also show Celticized dragons in 50 to 45 BC. The emblem books popular from late medieval times through the 17th century often represent the dragon as an emblem of greed. The prevalence of dragons in European heraldry demonstrates that there is more to the dragon than greed. Agostí Zao, a romantic myth creator of the 19th century, fused these myths in his own creation of L'Arançuge, the first and last serpent, that in his newly coined legend would arise again sometime in the future, bringing the rebirth of the Basque nation. Dragons have long been portrayed in modern times as greedy treasure hoarders, lusting for gold and precious gems. In such stories as Beowulf, the theft of such treasure sparks a dragon's fury. In the fantasy genre, however, there has been a trend of originally depicting dragons in a positive light as allies instead of enemies, the Red Dragon of Wales and the Brother Dragon of Poland. Dragons are increasingly viewed as friends of humans and as highly intelligent and noble creatures, while still remaining the fearsome beasts of legend. They are frequently shown as guardians and close friends of individual humans. After the discovery of fossil pterosaurs, European-type dragons are often depicted without front legs, and when on the ground standing and walking pterosaur fashion on their back feet, and the wrists of their wings.